Hi, friends and family, ghouls and goblins and boos and ghosts. What are we going to talk about today on the Purple Couch? Well, Halloween, the holidays. It's time to get dressed up. Real or make-believe, how do we prepare our children for the holiday season? This coming up on the next episode of Pam and the Purple Couch podcast.
Welcome to Pam and the Purple Couch podcast, hosted by Pamela Furr, with our co-hosts, Dr. Manny Rodriguez, Missy Owen, and Loki DePristo. Together, we're going to dive deep into topics such as education, neurodiversity, autism, and applied behavioral analysis. Remember to click subscribe today so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
Hi, friends and family. Ooh, as it's spooky.
Okay.
This is the Spooky Podcast. We're going to talk today about Halloween, the holidays, dressing up, what's real, what's not real, how to handle our children when we're in an environment of seasons of dressing up. I'm a dress up, just like Loki busted me, with the whole, when we're talking about furries.
Yeah.
I think that there's only been maybe one Halloween in my 48 years on this earth that I have not dressed up. Yes, seriously. I love dressing up. It's been a big deal. My house was always, and look, my mom was a single mom raising two girls. We were broke, okay? Mm-hmm. But Halloween, whether we were hobos dressing up in all my mom's old clothes, or, okay, don't judge this one, white trash, and just put a trash bag on. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do for the holiday seasons. And we joke about them because these are memories. But today's day and age, with a lot of different children, because I'm a Gen Xer, they didn't care, Mm-hmm. It was Freddy Krueger, Jason, the scarier, the better.
All the scream masks.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, though that was later on. I mean, we're going all the way back.
1970s, 80s horror films were
yes, The Exorcist. These
back
were
when
the
costumes were easy.
Costumes easy. Oh, you have no clue. We had the garbage bag costume. Oh, yeah. Like when you could afford to buy a costume.
Yeah, but you could put a hockey mask on, say you're Jason Voorhees, and call it.
Yes,
exactly,
yes, you could.
Make it easy, yeah.
But if you were deluxe, okay, and you had extra money, like we were talking about with budgeting and financing.
Yeah.
You could get the bought costume. And that was, wait till you hear this. Costume made out of the same material as trash bags. So you sweat all night long. The sweat was just real. And then the mask that only lasted one time. Yeah. And it had a string that would snap on your face. But man, if you could dress up with one of those costumes. Oh, and your mom did. Your aunt, we jammed it. It was great. I think, I was the robot from Buck Rogers. I know, Missy, it's okay. Do you remember Buck Rogers? Oh my gosh. It's not just me.
You're just a couple years older than me.
So, those are for all my Gen Xers. Buck Rogers was the jam. So, costumes.
You're from West Virginia, so that.
Oh, now you got to bring the West Virginia.
Because I was South Florida. I don't think that was popular in South Florida.
We didn't have sci-fi. But that was only in West by God.
Yeah, no, they had to develop their tech tree first.
Oh, listen to you.
But anyways,
our tech tree.
Anyways,
so
went down and
we really did. But we want to talk about costumes because you, Mr. on the spectrum.
Okay, well, I want to continue the Halloween discussion later.
Well, we can, but costumes for you were a terror. So you were born in August.
Yes.
So
okay.
the first experience you had, like when you really were not just a baby being held by someone, was Easter.
Oh, okay.
So we, of course, for Easter dinner, we all went and had family dinner. So at this point, Loki is August. So now we're looking at March and April. Okay. So if you think about that, you're looking at, he's about, 6 to 8 months, depending. And again, I'm going all the way back to 2006. Okay.
Yeah.
So he hadn't even turned 1 yet. And it's Easter dinner. And of course, there at the end of Easter dinner, who decided to come visit us but the Easter Bunny? Wow. That probably should have been my first sign that there was something going to be a little different with Loki, because you would have thought, like, instantly. Now, at this point, we're holding up. He's already bobblehead and looking at everybody and enjoying, because he's 6 to 8 months. So, he's engaging now.
Yeah.
Soon as this Easter Bunny came, the scream. Oh my, it was like a terror. Yeah, he's sitting there because he's laughing because he's 19. He knows it just got worse. It didn't get any better. That's right.
What?
So,
I'm not afraid of that. I just think he was weird.
so we'll talk about it in just a sec, okay? Let mom have a mom moment. Do you know why yes.
Yeah,
do
you're
think-
power tripping on being a parent right now. I wanted to tell you, listen, seeing a guy that's like, from a perspective from like a little wee kid, so much taller than you, wearing a face, like just a single emotion mask.
Yes.
And what was it? Pink? It was pink, right?
He was dressed up as a full, a bunny rabbit, like Peter Rabbit, in a suit with a big bunny rabbit head, big bunny rabbit paws, bunny rabbit feet, the whole 9 yards. And you were even, like, when I say terror, you've heard the kids where you think there's something somebody's pulling their hair out of their head. And we're holding him. And and the funniest part, and the reason that I'm mom tripping, as he says, is because he's 19 and I can still remember holding him and the look, it was instantly. And then the scream. And we're like, wow, what's it? We had to walk him outside. And then it didn't matter if he just saw him. And it wasn't in close proximity. It could have been across the room. He saw that bunny rabbit and he was having nothing. He was like, get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, as he got a little older.
Oh boy, are we going to the car ride conversation?
Not yet. See, he laughs because he remembers the car ride conversation. The next was Santa Claus in the malls.
Oh, okay. So we are talking about the car ride conversation.
My son and Santa Claus were mortal enemies for years. He did not want anything to do with Santa.
I think it's literally the first time, like, no, it's not the first time I met a mall Santa. It wasn't even a mall Santa. It was in West Virginia where we went to that little path.
Yes.
It was a little gingerbread house.
Yes.
It had Santa in it. And I think I was chill. I was chill with Santa just for like a moment.
So you were 6 years old at this time.
Yes, and like I got over. I think it like I also probably knew it was already for my parents because at this point I also did the Mickey's Halloween trick or treat.
Yes.
And did it with all the other mascot costumes, and I was like, and I was trying my best because like I don't think I was having the best time because I wasn't really a Disney guy, but
yes.
But I did it for my parents, so it's sort of like.
So,
but wait, I'm not done yet. Yet.
Okay.
So, okay. So that's for that, right?
Okay.
And then next year, mall Santas, right? I walked over to a mall Santa.
Let me correct myself.
Okay.
So you were a little behind. So the first Santa experience you're talking about, you were about 3 or 4.
Yes.
You were 3 or 4. At that point, just so our followers know, you were full in the midst of your autism.
Yes.
Okay, so you were 3 or 4 years old.
Oh, in that case, I might have been zoning out and not being shed out of my pants.
Well, so the gingerbread house one that we walked to, that was when you were 3 or 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The mall Santa, that was you were 6 or 7.
Okay.
So just so you know. So
yes.
now, yes.
Yes.
So now after the mall Santa,
okay. Now
we're
after
in the car.
no, I wanna say it. So yeah. So again, after the like a year after I took a picture with Santa, and it was a more high quality thing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
It was a gingerbread house, and the Santa Claus was really convincing and really good. And then we went to the mall Santa, and I took the picture. And then this is the part where I had enough. Once we immediately got in the car and we were driving, it was like silence, and like I just sort of like, Mom, is Santa not real?
Oh wow. Yes. Yes. So keep in mind, and the reason, remember, he said it was like a year or so later, is because we were driving. And the reason that he says a year or so later, it was again Easter time. And I swear the Easter Bunny was our arch nemesis.
Also, I want to say, can I continue the car ride story? Because there's another aspect, which is the funniest punchline ever.
I know. So I want to put a disclaimer out here.
Okay.
If we have children listening to this episode of the Purple Couch podcast, Please understand this is a 19-year-old neurodivergent son of mine that's going to be as real as possible about his experience with costumes, with his experience with
Yes.
Easter Bunny.
What are you talking about?
Because some children listening still have
yeah.
mystical
Mystic-
experience.
Yeah, whimsical energy that I
Yes.
don't have. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, buddy.
So let all those wonderful kids know that this would be the time for them to change the station and come back in 5 minutes.
I mean, you already told me that I had a panic attack seeing the Easter Bunny in a costume. So
well,
it's
yes, but you
not
did.
a panic attack. Not a panic attack. I was
Honestly,
over
that's
exaggerating.
probably what you did. You know, if we sit back here and we think about it.
Yeah, but
probably
you
as a
should
child.
probably have a disclaimer at the start of the episode instead of in
Okay.
the middle, you know.
So we will do that. We will post-production
Yeah.
at the end of our recording today. I will put a disclaimer out. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now
Anyways,
that we're going to do that, now you can speak freely. Because see, I was in what did he call it? Mom tripping earlier?
Yeah.
I was mom tripping for all the families going, oh my gosh, they're going to tell them that there's no Easter Bunny, there's no Santa Claus. Oh my, I'm going to have such hate mail. I mean, the hate mail, the furries was one thing. The hate mail is going to be another thing. So
Anyway.
now, please go at it. Tell them your story.
Okay, so after I said, Mom, is Santa not real? Mom just said, she had to recoil from that, and then said, yes. And I was like, oh, okay. There was no big reaction.
No.
It was literally just, okay, cool.
Tell them about the
It's like,
Easter
okay,
Bunny.
that's a nice fact.
I don't know about the Easter Bunny conversation. And also, I just think it's funny because if I literally do remember, I think 6-year-old me literally said, or Mom said, so it was me putting presents. And, the 6-year-old me said, yeah.
So,
I knew that at 6.
oh, well, remember, at 6 is when Loki's verbal communication came full to a head. So between 5 and 6, at 4 he started talking, but it was babble at home. So Loki was Loki. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So he had the skills to speak, but when he would speak, it was in his language. So at home, we could understand him, but outside the house, no one could understand him because it was like twin language, but you had already become accustomed to it. The reason I'm sitting back letting him just have at it is because, like he said, yes. So at 4-year-old, the gingerbread house and everything like that, he still didn't want anything. He took the picture and we have them, every year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was one of those moms. I wasn't educated at that time.
You were a photo mom.
Yeah.
You were a photo mom that was very concerned with the past and wanting to preserve it. So you just took pictures of any moment at all. And trust me, even when I was 4, I didn't want to say this right now, but now it should be a good time. I was tired of your shit.
Well, no, because we do.
Yeah, I do the same
This
thing
is
as
Gen
that.
X time. We didn't have growing up. Remember,
The iPhone released it. It was crack for you.
yes,
okay?
absolutely.
Well, if
Loki.
it wasn't on a shoulder being recorded.
Yes, the big
Or,
camcorders.
yeah, the big
You
cameras.
you didn't miss. Well, I'm gonna say you did miss the Kodak film booths where we actually would have film that you'd have to buy, put it in your camera, advance it, and then you had to take the film, and then you have to wait a week just to see your
I
pictures.
understand. You wanted to play with the new technology.
Yes,
But
so,
also at the same time, you don't understand how many times I had to hear, oh, Loki, go over here. And then it's
But
like,
you know what?
I have to stand right here, and then you have to press the white button 3 times for it to actually work.
But
Yeah.
our parents need to hear voices like yours because just like myself, because we came from a generation that didn't have that convenience. We overdid it completely. Everything. I've got pictures of, I'm talking 3,000-4,000 pictures because you just took pictures. Like you said, we just took pictures. So, and especially now, think about this. Here we are at the holidays. So for all of your, what do you, parent tripping? Mom tripping, dad
Parent
tripping,
tripping.
parent tripping out
Parent
there.
tripping.
Just remember when you are in the festive holiday season, sometimes it's us wanting the pictures and not our kids.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
Loki's vocalizing that very nicely for us today.
Okay.
So to rewind,
Wait,
when you were talking to me in the car about
Oh.
Santa Claus, okay, and about whether Santa was real, whether Santa wasn't real,
Mm-hmm.
that was because I had just picked you up from a specific school, aftercare school, and picking you up. They had played the Easter Bunny movie.
Which Easter Bunny movie?
Fear Cotton? No.
Hop?
Hop.
Oh,
They
oh my
just
God.
played Hop.
I forgot.
So I'm going to now bust Loki because he's going to get blushed and he's going to make that weird face.
No.
Because his exact comment before asking me if Santa was.
Oh, this. Yeah.
So you
Never
know
mind,
how
I'm proud of this.
how he nicely sat here and was able to give mom space when mom's like, oh, she had to read. Yes, because the previous discussion before asking me about Santa was, Mom, is the Easter Bunny real? Driving. Oh, remember I told you if they're old enough to ask the question, they're old enough to have the answer. So while mom was combobulating, how do I word this as a teacher, as an educator, not as mom? What do I do? Because we all have these moments.
No. You weren't even a good. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. You weren't even a good educator. You were still in the learning phase of it because you were still trying to learn how to set up Puzzle Box Academy.
Yeah, so
You didn't even have a name for Puzzle Box Academy yet. I came up with that name before then.
had nothing to do with, going to school to teach. It had nothing to do with any of that. It was only about Puzzle Box. But yes, so as I'm a parent, combobulating in this wonderful half-assness in the car, my son goes, Mom, you do realize, remember parents, I said it's only a storm.
Over.
Once they start talking, they don't stop.
Okay, but I also want to say this is
Mom.
this is a little bit of an over-exaggeration because I don't think I had enough grammar to say what mom is saying. But it's basically
So you
a
understand
giant
he's heard
TLDR.
this. He's heard this story.
Yes, I've heard. Yes,
knows
I
what
love
he said.
this story. The
Yes.
story's awesome.
His exact comment was, Mom, bunny rabbits don't shit jelly beans. And he thought he was so bad because he said the SH word. Okay. So we're in the car. And that's why he's all, let's look at his face. He's so proud of himself. Yes.
Love it.
Because this is when all his language all of a sudden was just there. Now, just so you know, I have a picture of this moment. Because remember, I was taking pictures. So I took my phone, click. I still have the picture. He is sitting. And at this time, I had a Honda Element. He's sitting in the Honda Element on his knees because he was not this tall then. And he's sitting there and he's looking at me like this. And he's like, Mom.
Well, can you look at the camera and do it?
Well, I'm showing Missy. Mom, Easter bunnies don't shit jelly beans. Like it was just like old news here. I'm like, oh, so yes, I did make faces. And if he can still remember at 19 the faces I made, good for him. Because the next follow-up question while mom's going, so Mom, is Santa real? And I'm like, well, look, and that's when I did. I just told him, I was like, no, Loki, it's been Mom. All these years, it's been Mom. And just like this.
And you think and she thinks she's like such like doing like the biggest reveal ever. Like I feel like I heard the acting even if I was sick.
You hear this.
And it's like,
And he's like, yeah.
it was all me. I was Santa all along. And I know you didn't actually say that.
Right.
But like I was the one giving you the gifts. And I didn't even do like a big like reaction. Okay.
Yep. Well, see, here's the thing. This is why we're doing this podcast. Because parents, you see that reaction? Yes. Most of the time, we are beating ourselves up.
Yeah.
So much more than what we need to. Because the reason I brought Loki onto the podcast was simply so that you all, using my own... I don't even know what to say now because, yes, I'm going to turn as red as my hair many times this season because I wanted you to understand first-hand experience-wise. Just like this, happening live on the couch, unfiltered, unedited. Parents, this is how my house is. This is how we are on the daily.
The strings really.
This is how it's going to be in your house. You're not alone. You're not alone. These kind of conversations, these off-the-wall conversations, are also the conversations you're going to hold on to when your child's 19, when he's 2, when the things are coming out now that you're like, oh my goodness. When we get to hear the personal family conversations that come into the school, remember, we're all dealing with it. It doesn't matter what alphabet soup you have. It doesn't matter if you're neurotypical. It doesn't matter if you're neurodivergent. This is family. This is what we are dealing with in today, in our home, in your home, in Missy's home. This is what we all deal with. what we want to do is, though, take a moment to reflect on ourselves. And are the things that we're doing, like taking the pictures, going to see all the characters, the things we grew up with, those are things that we brought from family traditions. And our world is changing. While we were getting ready to film this episode, I'm telling you, Loki made a comment, and my executive team, we all kind of looked at each other, and we were like, oh my, that's so real that it wasn't until he said it before this episode. And what he said is, talk about it. It's Santa Claus. And Loki's like, people really don't do that anymore. That's sad for me.
Well, okay, it's not really okay.
This is
no.
Wait.
I want to say something. Sorry, I zoned out for a little bit while you were having that conversation, but
That's
I do know the general synopsis.
Okay.
It's not like people aren't doing it, and it's not like people don't like it. It's just that some characters or like myths around holidays and such might not be children's favorite character, even though they're marketed towards children.
I 100%.
Like, it's not. Listen, you could talk about a man in red that gives gifts all you want. If you make it Mario, then the kids will be interested.
No, that isn't it. Mm-hmm. So that's our generational gap. Mm-hmm. That's again going how our generation. There you go.
Thank you. Oh my God.
That's me knowing that string is going to really bother him.
He did a good job diverting him further.
So I was able to take care of that string for you. So anyways, those are the little things that you need to be looking out for. Just like what Loki was saying. We grew up understanding Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I've seen the fat man come down the chimney. I've seen skinny man come down the chimney. It's all depending on which version of the story is being told.
Yeah.
But there are also new characters that the same theme can be idolized.
Yeah.
Same theme. Just like with Loki.
Like, you don't have to say it's Santa who actually gives the gifts. What if it's just simply Mario being a very jolly guy and wanting just to give gifts around the Mushroom Kingdom? Like, you could just do that. Like,
yes. Well, how about, for me, getting back to the core principle of what Christmas was about? It wasn't about the fat holly man.
Right.
It wasn't about Mario. It was the time of giving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what scares me. That's what breaks my heart, is because we've become so commercialized. We've become so character oriented that the theme behind of the gratitude, the grace, being grateful for what you do have and being grateful for the opportunities. This is what the holiday season was supposed to be about. But what have we done? Like everything, we've commercialized. So then our children, our neurodivergent children like Loki, don't see the shades of gray, don't have the history, don't have the buy-in that we do. So they're able to come in and streamline and be like, well, why are you doing this? You're all a bunch of idiots and fools. It's not this commercialized. Now, if we talk to our children, like talking to Loki, and he understands, well, Christmas more is about being grateful, and it's the gratitude. And at least in our house, what we've moved from is less presents, more memories. Doing an experience together as a family.
That's a trend that's happening. I know a lot of people are moving towards doing.
What was it? When we went to Colorado for, was it Thanksgiving? That's when we started that.
It was Thanksgiving or New Year.
Yeah, I think it was it was the first snow, so it had to be Thanksgiving. It was so about 3 years ago. Loki's now getting into the adult.
Colorado was 3 years ago?
Yeah. I know. See what happens when you're an adult? Time just starts flying by. The years start flying by. So you would have been 16. So at 16, instead, what do you give as presents then? So then it was like, okay, well, just like we were talking about with pictures, the reason I take so many pictures is because we want to have those memories to hold on to. So that was my whole theory, was like, okay, from here on out, we start doing experiences. That's why we did the collage event together. We've gone on vacations together, and not just vacations to go sit by the pool, but where are we going to learn and to experience something that won't be available?
Yeah.
That's scary nowadays.
Yeah. And one of the episode, we're talking about like Halloween, real versus make-believe. for some people, that experience of doing something make-believe is an experience to celebrate with the family.
Absolutely.
You know, whether it's dress up or whether it's going to Disney or whatever, something that's not your everyday real reality. Sometimes that's the experience that your kids want, that you want as a family.
Absolutely. You know, and I think we have to take the other step where some kids, it was traumatic, like for Loki, understanding why is this human with, and notice what he said. And I don't mean to pick apart, but the clinical side of me is coming out now.
Mhm.
What was the first thing he said as an adult now? It was the face without an emotion.
Right.
Oh yeah, the one.
Yeah. This big
So-
head that,
Correct.
Yeah.
That doesn't, mouth doesn't move. It's just a big head that doesn't show any emotion. So all of these years, even living it firsthand with Loki, that was new news for me.
Mhm.
Sitting here on the couch today, because I always, okay, I understand the big mask. I understand the oversized head. But to hone in on the no emotion face, that did an impact on you, Loke, that you
Yeah.
were able to express that now we can start to think, oh, so some of the faces that actually move up and down aren't as
Well,
intimidating.
Yeah.
that's more so a thing that just sort of bugs me when I was very, very, very young. I'm more fine with it now, and I think other young kids might be fine with it.
Right, but at the same time, it's a perspective.
Yeah.
So, as we're starting to wrap up this episode, just again, I got to shout at this content that we're talking about. I think is pretty critical for all of our families who are dealing with this on a day-to-day basis, especially with the holidays coming up, with Halloween, Christmas, and so on. So, again, I'm going to just plug it here. Just a great opportunity. Subscribe, like, friend us, share it, because this is something that all families around the world can personify. But something that you're talking about with regards to these characters, I believe that's why Disney changed their characters to be speaking.
Yes. Yeah.
So now they're
Mhm.
very like animatronic, and they could speak, and the
Yeah.
person inside it sometimes is the one doing this talking. Sometimes it's the person behind the scenes watching on a camera that's doing, but either way, it's to be more expressive.
Oh,
So that the kid that's meeting Mickey for the first time, or Minnie, it's very interactive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your first meeting with Mickey Mouse with the white gloves, and guys, this will put you, into perspective again, was because you had played the Wii boxing, the original Wii Fit.
Yeah.
So when you met Mickey, and again, thank goodness for mom's old pictures, thanks good for mom parenting. So the big white gloves that he had when he's like, hi, because again, we're old school, so this was before the back movement.
Mhm.
All you saw was big white gloves. So you were, again, 3 going on 4.
Wait. Is this?
Punch! You wanted to box Mickey.
Oh,
Yes, that's the picture I have of you. Yes, because all he saw was white gloves. So the white gloves are like the me's.
Yeah.
We.
Yeah.
You know how the big
And they're
hands
huge.
are,
Yeah.
and so they're like this. So Loki saw that, and instantly, I've got the picture. He's in fighting stance. Yes. And for him, because again, remember I said that he had words, it just no one could understand.
Sure.
So for him, it was punch, like he could hear from the,
Mhm.
and that was how he would say it out. So yeah, you tried to take on Mickey. First time you met him, you tried to take him on. But that is it. We have to think about our kids and think about the costumes and think about what they want and not just what mom and dad would like to dress up as, especially when we see the family costumes that are coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I do that.
Where everybody in the family is all. So Manny's already said it. Well, Manny, take a think because Bubba may not want that this year. He
Yeah.
may be like, nah, Manny, it's okay. I don't want to be the ketchup.
Yeah.
Not to out my wife, but she's the one that doesn't
I
like to
want to
dress
be
up.
ketchup.
The kids and I will dress up.
I want to be ketchup. I want to be Freddy Fazbear.
I did the Toy Story thing. I've done a couple of things like that, but yeah, they're getting older now. So.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as now, so let's handle that. I love that. So this is how we're going to wrap up this episode. Just like Manny was talking, when you've got a mom that is on a mission, make sure that you're communicating with your children. Get their buy-in. Get the feedback from them. Even if it's one of these, oh my goodness, mom wants us to dress up as the Flintstones. All right. I know that Loki didn't even grow up watching the Flintstones, but if mom wants to do it, okay, guys, mom wants to dress up. We're going to do it. This is because we want to bring mom joy.
Yeah, with the family packs and all that stuff.
Yes, but then what do we
Manny
do?
said.
Then we have a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Manny would be like, hey, Junior, I know that you really like XYZ. Mom has nothing to do with that, but guess what? Maybe we'll put some puppy dog ears that will go along with it. You know, Bam Bam didn't have puppy dog ears, but see how we can blend that
Bam,
together.
Bam with the tail.
Exactly.
I don't want to be a catcher, but I want to be Freddy Fazbear.
Yes,
Freddy
exactly.
Fazbear, yeah.
So as long as you're listening, we're getting the feedback.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part.
And I wanted to say on the topic of that, going back to a previous episode, like a previous episode, knowing about your child and what they like, even though they won't open up to you, getting that initiative saying, hey, do you want to dress up as this character from this sort of series of media that, like, you know, you like? Even though I don't understand it, I'll be willing to help you out on it.
Absolutely.
And, like, yeah, I'd be willing to, like, you know, doopa-doopa-doo, I'm a good cosplayer thing. I could, I don't know.
So
I don't know
what Loki's doing in his non-expressive communication.
Well, I'm trying to show sewing. I'm trying to show sewing in the way of
that's
helping
exactly
out
it.
crafting, because I was
Yes.
mildly
There you
trying
Yes.
to improv.
but we understand your improv. It went a long way.
Yes.
That's again parents that understand non-expressive language cues. We got that. All of that.
Yeah, even then-
we understood.
Even then, I think it was when I was 17,
Uh-huh.
you literally did help me with a cosplay that I just sort of suggested on a whim, saying, you don't have to follow this through, but I'll do it myself. And you actually got me hair dye from Home Depot to help me with the...
We did the mask dye with the spray. That didn't
Oh.
come from Home Depot. That came from the local store, so that we're trying not to give name drops.
Yeah.
Then we got the paint to spray your mask from the local hardware store. So yes, what Loki's saying, parents, is it doesn't have to be that costume in a bag. Nowadays, talk to your kids, get creative with your kids.
Mhm.
And if they are scared of adults in costumes, know that it's okay. And explain that to the child. That is a grown-up that's within a costume.
You
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, you don't have to, like, act like it's real, too. You could just sort of say, all right, cool, if you want to get me a photo with Santa Claus, then sure, I'll do it for you. And if not, then just simply say, hey, it will depends on the, you know, child, but, like, you get what I mean.
Exactly. And I think what Loki is really trying to enforce there is make sure that you're not forcing the child to go outside of their comfort zone just for that photo.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest part. We're in a different generation. And as our generations change, make sure that you can be more flexible with what you're looking for, your desires. Like Loki said, don't adulthood it, don't parent it.
Don't mother.
So I don't even remember the term, but guys, you know, be the best that you can be in the situation, in the moment. And remember, open communication is key. So from our home to yours, until next time, it's us from the Purple Couch Podcast. Bye, guys. Have a great day.